There comes a day when your alarm rings and every single part of your body begs you to stay in bed. Your mind starts whispering that familiar negotiation, just 5 more minutes. But 5 minutes turns into 30. 30 minutes turns into a skipped morning routine. Before you know it, another opportunity is gone, and ambitions drift further out of reach. We tend to look at highly successful people and assume they possess some infinite natural well of morning energy that the rest of us are missing. They don't. They wake up exhausted. They wake up stressed. They start their days carrying heavy, complex problems that nobody else can even see. The difference is entirely in their response. They move anyway. They treat physical action, not their current emotional state, as the only real metric of progress. Motivation is an emotion, and like all emotions, it is strictly temporary. It fluctuates wildly depending on your sleep, your stress levels, or even the weather outside. Discipline operates in direct opposition to that. It is a permanent, immovable commitment. It doesn't ask if life is fair, and it never asks if you feel ready. It only asks what needs to be done today. Some mornings you will naturally feel completely unstoppable, but on the vast majority of mornings, you will wake up heavily doubting your own path. If your future depends on how you happen to feel on any given Tuesday, your results will mathematically always remain uncertain and unstable. Imagine 2 people standing side by side at the exact same starting line. One decides to wait until inspiration strikes to take the first step. The other starts moving immediately, regardless of how they feel. Days turn into weeks, weeks become months, months become years. The distance between them grows larger and larger. Not because one had more talent, not because one had better opportunities, but because one chose action over excuses. Anyone can chase a goal when life is easy and people are cheering them on. Continuing to push forward when you are completely isolated and unsupported is exactly where ordinary effort ends and extraordinary achievement begins. The days when action feels most difficult represent the single most critical data points for achieving long-term separation from the baseline. Every excuse you make will sound perfectly reasonable in the moment. Telling yourself you're too tired or that you'll simply find the time tomorrow feels completely logical. But skipping one workout makes it significantly easier to skip a whole week. One avoided opportunity turns into a month of stagnation. Inaction mathematically devolves into a permanent habit of quitting. We often treat physical or mental comfort as a well-deserved reward. In reality, choosing comfort is an active thief, steadily stealing away the potential of your tomorrow. Choosing immediate pleasure over discipline creates a literal, transactional trade made entirely at the expense of your future self. The actual mechanics of discipline are entirely unglamorous. It means executing tasks before the sun rises, prioritizing deep study, and working in complete silence while your peers actively seek out distractions. Nobody is going to applaud those moments. There are no witnesses for the lonely mornings, and nobody is there to celebrate the exhaustion you push through late at night. Yet when those private efforts finally compound into visible success, people will immediately look at the result and call you lucky. They will assume your position materialized overnight. But highly visible success is never an accident. It is exclusively constructed from those thousands of completely invisible, uncelebrated micro-sacrifices. Think of every single micro-decision you make throughout your day as a literal vote. Each choice is a ballot cast for the exact person you are going to become tomorrow. So you have to clearly define your stance. Are you voting for the version of yourself that surrenders to comfort, or the version that endures? The next time your mind tells you to stop, recognize that voice for what it is. It isn't an inherent enemy, and it doesn't mean you're weak. It is simply a recurring test of your consistency, one that you must pass over and over again. Abandon your emotional prerequisites. Ignore the internal fears and the endless negotiations. Stand up, take the first step, and simply move. Because while motivation might provide the initial spark to start your journey, relentless discipline is the sole mechanism capable of finishing it.
If this message made you stronger, don't let it end here. Join the Nexcipline movement. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and become stronger, one day at a time.